The fear currency effect demonstrates how fear can be used as a strategic tool of influence and control, keeping individuals or entire populations in a state of dependence and submission. Whether in politics, relationships, or media, recognizing the ways fear is manufactured and weaponized is the first step toward breaking free from its grip. By fostering critical thinking, resilience, and emotional independence, individuals can reclaim their autonomy and resist manipulation. The phantom guilt syndrome. When you feel guilty for no reason. Guilt is a natural human emotion that helps regulate behavior, promoting accountability and moral responsibility. However, there are instances where guilt becomes detached from actual wrongdoing, causing individuals to feel guilty for things they never did or for circumstances beyond their control. This phenomenon, known as phantom guilt syndrome, is a psychological manipulation tactic that exploits an individual's conscience, fostering emotional distress, compliance, and dependency. Understanding phantom guilt syndrome. Phantom guilt syndrome occurs when an individual is conditioned to experience guilt irrationally, often due to external influences such as manipulative relationships, societal expectations, or authority figures. Unlike justified guilt, which arises from actual wrongdoing, phantom guilt is planted by external forces that distort an individual's perception of their moral standing. This technique is frequently used to create a self-regulating mechanism of control, where the victim polices their own thoughts and actions, making them easier to manipulate. Psychological mechanisms behind phantom guilt syndrome. Several psychological processes contribute to the effectiveness of phantom guilt syndrome. False attribution of responsibility. The individual is led to believe they are responsible for events, emotions, or consequences that were never within their control. Emotional gaslighting. Manipulators distort reality, making the victim feel guilty for things that did not happen or were beyond their influence. Conditioned emotional responses. Repeated reinforcement of unwarranted guilt leads to automatic self-blame, even in unrelated situations. Moral exploitation. People with strong ethical values are particularly vulnerable to phantom guilt syndrome, as manipulators use their own conscience against them. Overgeneralization of guilt. The victim internalizes the belief that they are inherently at fault, regardless of the circumstances. Real-world applications of phantom guilt syndrome. Phantom guilt syndrome is frequently employed in various areas of society and interpersonal relationships. Toxic relationships.